Hey, Brandon here, and I've got a question for you. Are you in a dysfunctional relationship with your inner self? By your inner self, I mean your true self, your spirit self, and part of you that's connected to the divine. And another way to think of your inner self is your inner child, because a child is pure and full of creativity and joy and playfulness, and it's a warm, glowing thing. So so that's another way to look at it. So are you in a dysfunctional relationship with that part of yourself? Do you do things like um, drink too much, or do you do things that endanger you? Anything like that? Do you engage in things that stress you out? Is that a way of life for you? When you do things like that in the material world, it takes you away from the spirit world. It takes you farther. I've been to a point in my life when I was drinking too much. That was my main problem, and I came to a point where I realized that I could no longer feel my spirit self. And at that point, I knew that I had to turn it around. I had to make some changes. And so that's what I did. And since then, I've learned to always try to stay in contact with my inner self, my true self, my connection to the divine, my connection to source. Um, I think that sin, a good definition for sin, would be anything that takes you away from your spirit self. Anything that creates distance between you, or who you perceive as you, and your spirit self. Because your spirit self is your true self. We are spirit beings living in the material world. It takes some people a while to realize that. For a lot of people, I think it takes a while to. I think they know that they are spirit beings, but it takes them a while to fully accept that and realize what it means and everything. That's the process of awakening. But I think the process of awakening is can be harmed, or is definitely harmed, by these sins, or things that take us away or make a distance in between who we perceive as us and our true selves. So, what can you do? How can you change? The main advice that I have is to stay in contact with your spirit self and to check in with it all the time. Try to return to it all the time, because the more that you do, the more power it will have and the more changes you'll be able to make. Um, it's helped me overcome a lot of things, because it's put me in sync with Source and what Source wants to do for me or with me in my lifetime, what my life is here for. I think we're all here to um, learn that we are spirit beings, and to fully live as spirit beings, or to learn to do that. So it's very important, and it's a lot easier if you're going with Source instead of trying to go against it, which is the hell of it that they're talking about in Christianity, I suppose. So I guess that's it for tonight. Namaste.